Welcome to 10 Toes In. Today we're going to talk about this 1090 Jake, talking about how he became famous just because he went to juvenile prison.
He is the paperwork prince.
Yeah. So my question is since everybody knows we can't look up juvenile, and some stuff surfaced about him, about this grievance thing, writing a grievance to the warden because he was in the shoe. And I watched a video on it. Listen, if you're going to write a grievance and put a name on it, Kyle, what do we call that in the feds?
Snitching. He said he identified the inmates that hit him on the back of the head. No, it was just two inmates. That's it. You got hit on the back of the head. You don't remember what the two inmates were.
And the only reason why he did that because he wanted to get out of the shoe.
He wanted to get out of the shoe. He can't do his shoe time.
So in the feds, ever since I've been down, we're going to talk about my juvenile stint. But in the feds, every time I went to the shoe, I had to go back there and shut up. I got in a fight, right? So we pretty much went back there and we just laid down while they did the investigation, because if we didn't talk and we settled up together, guess what? We got to come back on the compound.
On the compound. It was over with. You don't have to talk to anybody.
You don't have to talk to nobody. If you went back there and dropped a kite, that shit's going to follow you everywhere you go. I don't care if you didn't get nobody in trouble like you're saying, but listen, I don't care what anybody says. You do not go back there and talk. You don't put nothing on paper. If you say anything, you say, hey, dude, I got jumped. I didn't see the people, but I didn't fight back. I got jumped. But that dude dropped what? Names.
He dropped names. He dropped names on some kind of piece of paper. That's 1090 Jake, man. He's over there talking about rappers who snitched. This person snitched. That person snitched. This person's got bad paper. Here's the problem, like you were saying. His stuff is a juvenile record, so it's sealed. So I got an idea, Jason. I mean, he's in Florida. He's in Tampa. We're in Florida. We're in Fort Lauderdale. Come on down and bring your paper. Show the world that you're good.
The thing is he can still get his paperwork, right?
Right, because it was him. So bring your paper, show the world so everybody stops complaining, because if his paper's good, then fine.
We'll have a paperwork party. I got my paperwork.
My paper's good too.
I got my sentencing transcript. So Jake...
but you said you took him to trial twice.
Yeah, I did. I beat the feds once. So the thing about it is we would love for you to come on the show, Jake, and bring your sentencing transcripts. I know you can get them because you were talking about... He was talking about getting life. And right, he got 36 months.
He talked about getting life. He got 36 months. How did you do that? You told God on Jesus.
I don't know what he did, but I could promise you one thing.
God on Jesus.
Yeah, something happened.
But I'm willing to say, hey, I'm wrong when you bring the paperwork down here to Fort Lauderdale and show us.
Yeah. So listen, I'm just going to say it this way. I've been to prison multiple times. I got no tattoos, didn't join no gangs. I've been in some pretty fucked up places. I've been in prisons where I'm the only white boy in the pod. I did county jail time in Atlanta, notorious inside Atlanta's county jails. And when I tell you I was the only white boy, and I didn't have to join no gangs. I didn't get none of that. But if you go back in his Instagram and you look at his pictures,
he was 100 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah, he's probably 130. Tiny little dude, tatted up a little bit back then. So I'd started doing prison bids when I was 15 years old, and I got in trouble, and I agreed. I took it to trial. I beat almost all the cases, got thrown out, but I ended up having to take a plea deal on the dealing in stolen property. Once I took that deal in stolen property, they agreed to do a 6-month level 6 program. So in Florida, you had level 6, level 8, level 10. So level 6 was kind of like no fence, like a camp. And then level 8, you were behind a fence. But every prison I went to had a fence. So when I started out Martin County Boot Camp, we had a fence. And when I tell you hell, the place hell. The 3 juvenile prisons I've been to in the state of Florida, every one of them are shut down to this day because of the violence. I'm talking about messed up. The juvenile at the Martin County Boot Camp, I've never seen nothing like it in my life. Literally woke up every morning at 3 o'clock, 3:30, they wake us up. And it was that like trumpet thing. Yeah. So I literally had to jump up out of bed, position of attention in the middle of the room. I had a square that we had to stand on in the middle of the room, right? And you had to jump up, and they'd come down and look in all the windows. And you're in a single room, and you're in these brown whitey tighties with this brown shirt, right? That's really tight. They don't even give one's fit. You'd have morning wood. I mean, you would sit there, stand up, position of attention, your shirt tucked in, dude. And they'd stop by, and they'd walk by and laugh, and you had to piss so bad, and you got morning wood. And I mean, it's pretty embarrassing at the beginning as these females talking about, I could see everybody had good dreams last night. They would make jokes, whatever. So as soon as they did that, when they came down and looked in your windows, they were popping your door. Ping, 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 popping your door. So then they like position attention or something like that on your door. They say on your door, and you come flying out your door, and you had to slam the door behind you, and you had a square to get in, and you had to go like this. And everybody's standing in position attention at their door. I'd say 3/4 of everybody in the morning. Because, I mean, you got to think you're 15, 16, 17 years old. So, I mean, you're full of testosterone, dude. I'd say 3/4 every morning, everybody's standing at the door in whitey tighties, brown ones, shirt tucked in with a heart on. It is the most awkward thing, but after a while, you get used to it. And I mean, you would literally in the mornings, I never talked to an inmate. The whole time I was there like 7, 8 months, never talked to an inmate the whole time. You were in a single room, never read a magazine, didn't get to read no books. You went to school during daytime. You started out first thing in the morning, you ate, you got like 1 minute, 2 minutes to eat. Then you did like the days that they wanted to punish us, we'd do like 15, 16 miles of jogging at their cadence. And then we would go, average day would probably be 6 to 8 miles. We would do, I don't know, thousands of push-ups, thousands of everything. So they would smoke. Cause at 16 years old, I was ripped, shredded. And I got my ass whipped by a guard there because I talked back one time and they beat the shit out of me. And I had got my first visitation and I showed my mom the bruises at visitation. And she went and complained because the whole side of me was just messed up. And
they beat you again?
Oh, dude, it was bad. They took my visitations. They put me in a paper suit and put me in the padded room with the door in front of it. And I haven't really ever told this story to too many people. So they put me in a padded room, humiliated me in this like paper suit thing. They had to split down the back. You know, you're naked in it. And they kept you under surveillance for punishment and humiliate the shit out of me. And after like 2-3 weeks of this stuff, and you have this desk. So like when you're taking a piss or, you know, using the number 2, they're sitting there watching you.
Right.
It's the most awkward, craziest thing. And all night long, they'd sit there and you have your light on and they're talking at the desk all night long. Won't let you sleep. So after a couple weeks, and they told me that I was going to be punished for it for a while. And finally, I took a shit on the floor one time, took the toilet paper and slung it at the guard. And he beat the shit out of me and I caught a charge for it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I caught a charge for it. So they ended up putting me in, they moved me back to juvenile detention center, charged me 2 battery charges on Leo's when they came in on me, whooped me. So, because I asked for peace, you know, I was like, hey man, you mind if I, you know, go number 2 without you sitting here? And they were like, nah, you're not. Make sure you put water on that thing. Like they would sit there, you know, make sure I put water on it. So I was like, you know, the hell with these people, man. I'm done dealing with this stuff. You're sitting in there, you ain't had no sleep, and they keep messing with you, dude. So I had the toilet paper. They gave me enough. They only give you enough toilet paper to wipe your ass maybe once or twice.
That's how it is in Butner in the shoe. You get 8 pieces of toilet paper a day. Pieces. In this little package.
So they just gave me enough to probably wipe twice. So I was like, I'm done with this, dude. So I shit on the floor and I slung it at them. I said, hey. And they looked at me and I slung it. And let me just tell you, it wasn't a good thing. So they whooped the shit out of me. I caught 2 battery charges on Leo's. They put me in the juvenile detention center, and then they moved me to EIHH in Okeechobee. And it had a fence around it too. And the first day I was there, I got in a fight. And I caught 2 more battery charges on Leo's. They held me in the shoe there overnight. Then they booked me. And then they moved me to, I went back to the juvenile place, spent a couple months there, and then I went to EYDC at level 8 program, which you do 8 to 12 months in a level 8. And let me tell you something. It was rough. It was pretty bad. I watched some kids. I mean, so like the whole Jake thing, to get into it, he was talking about how crazy and wild it is. I don't care what anybody says. This is one thing I'm going to agree with him. Juvenile prison is probably, it's the hardest time I've ever done in my life. It's the most craziest. And the reason why is there's no leadership in there. There's no shot callers. There's no leadership. There's no code. There's no nothing. When I tell you kids, so when I was in the feds, you had white, black, and Hispanic. And then it was divided up in gangs between the races. In juvenile, there's none of that. Like there's a group and it's white, black, and Spanish in this group. They're all different, all everything. Like they're just run around terrorizing, doing whatever. I'm watching them take blocks, beat kids in the head with blocks, jumping them, everything you can. So our rooms are designed with a table in the middle, and all the rooms are like this. So the staff can sit in the middle and see in all the rooms. And literally when the staff would get up in the middle of the night to go use the restroom, take his restroom break, the kids would come running out and start whooping and kicking kids to sleep in their bunks and stuff and robbing them. And they had to get to a point where they had to have 2 staff in each unit, or have staff come in and relieve them to use the restroom because it got so bad. And then I got in a fight one time. They sent me to the SHU. And when you're in the SHU in juvie, you're only in there for 24 hours to 48 hours. And kids were going in there to like, because they'd be like some gay kids, or they would like certain people go in there, and that's where they would do all their like raping and sex, all the crazy stuff that they're doing. So the room is big, and it's got these like big plastic like water container beds. So they're like huge, big plastic beds, and they give you a mat at nighttime with one blanket, and that's it. And then they take it from you during the day, and there's nothing going on. And at nighttime, I'm telling you right now, it smells like nothing but bud in there. It's horrible. They're getting the freak on. I've never seen none of it in the daytime or raping or whatever, but the beatings and the stabbings of these kids is unbelievable. And I ended up catching, I think, 6 or 7 battery charges as a juvenile, just trying to survive in there. And I'm like, Jake, I didn't join no gang. I've been to some of the roughest ones. I didn't get no tattoos. I didn't have to join nothing. So I don't know the whole thing of like looking at life and getting 36 and having to join the Bloods and do all this stuff. Only thing I could tell you is when I was in juvenile, them kids would just do whatever they want that thought it was cool and get in, whatever. And I didn't. Only thing I did was me and this white boy named from, I can't remember his name. I called him Polk County, from Polk County, Florida. Tom is what we called him. And he was at Martin County boot camp with me, and he was a tough little bastard. So me and him ran together. And that's only the reason why I was able to make it. But other than that, we'd love to have you on to talk about it. And bring your paperwork. I want to see it.
Bring your paperwork right down here to Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll pay for the Brightline for you if you want to come. I'll pay for the Brightline. I'll pay for you to take Spirit, which is like the Uber of the airlines. Whatever it takes to get 1090 Jake down here. I don't know any other podcast that would do that. But you come down here, you bring your paperwork, you show us that it's clean. I mean, I'm not as big on the podcast side, but I get 5 million views a month on social, on federal, and I'll put it on there. And I'm going to tell you what, show us that your paper's good, we'll lay off. But I mean, it's one thing to be white and call out all these people, but it's worse to be white and not have good paper yourself and call out all these people. So show us.
Well, it's just crazy.
Show me the money.
Well, it's just so crazy that he's gotten so big and he's out here blasting people with their paperwork, but the man ain't even showed his paperwork. And then he's got people talking about this grievance thing. Like, go to the feds and write a grievance with somebody's name on it, see what happens. Kyle, what's going to happen?
You're going to get your ass kicked because you're telling.
Or are you going to run you off the goddamn compound?
You're going to get run up, told. You're told.
Yeah. So I just watched a podcast. What was it? Jump In, or whatever was it? Podcast where they were talking about it. One guy was sticking up for him saying, well, nobody got in trouble. It doesn't matter if nobody got in trouble. He still dropped the names. So if he'll drop the names when people don't get in trouble, he's dropping the names when people do get in trouble. At the end of the day, this guy did 36 months as a juvenile. I don't think he's done anything as an adult. And, you know, he's got all this popularity. He wants to talk about everything. Listen, dude, I went to trial as a juvenile. I graduated all my high school years in juvenile. I've been to 3 different juvenile prisons. I've been to 2 holdovers. I've been to federal prison. I've been to 5 federal prisons. So I went to trial, beat the feds once. So I got somebody I can speak on, and I got all my paperwork. So whenever you're ready, let's do this thing. And I'm going on Vlad too, end of this month. And when I get on Vlad, I'm going to ask Vlad about that, and we're going to talk about it. So I'm asking for the smoke. Let's see it.